Okie dokie.
Good morning, everyone. Today we are doing something different. We are doing a great idea to get to know us as practitioners. So, we are a group of practitioners, the Master Practitioner Circle, that has a great mission to help people globally using a variety of healing modalities. Today, Wendy Majewski is delighted to host and interview a few members of our Master Practitioner Circle with the purpose of getting to know us and why and what we do. So today I am thrilled to chat with Rande Brown. Tell us where you live, Rande.
Thank you, Wendy. I'm in Socorro, New Mexico, and I've been here for 40 years. I came here 40 years ago and started working in a mental health facility, a rural mental health facility, and became a substance abuse counselor. It's a strange location, underserved population, mostly Native Americans, and we're right by the Mexican border. So there's a drug stream that comes through. And I left this place 4 times thinking, please, I want to live near an ocean. Take me out of the desert. But I kept ending up back here until the 4th time I realized I had no choice, that this is where I was meant to be to serve. So I did substance abuse counseling for 20 years in this population and then moved after I got burned out on that particular job, moved to the university and became a disability counselor in a little health clinic on campus where I was doing the mental health counseling, some of the mental health counseling, and the physical health division was right beside me. So I began to see the connection between body and mind. They told me what was going on in their minds, and sure enough, it would turn out that's always the right leg, that's always the heart, that's always the lungs. And so I, at the time, became very interested in meditation. And I was doing meditation with a guru from India, which changed my life entirely. And the materials in India are very ahead of ours. Louise Hayes, I think, was the first American to come up with the connection so that we could understand the messages that the body was giving. So I started learning that. And when I retired, I was hoping to continue that learning. I didn't know how. This man had died, the person that I was learning from. And so I continued my meditation with his successor. And someone handed me the emotion code book. And the minute it hit my hand, I knew that was what I was supposed to learn next. And of course, I loved that. And Dr. Bradley Nelson, who is where he was the person that God used on this planet to introduce this energy healing to the masses. I know some of the practitioners here have been doing similar work for much longer, but it was new to me. And then the body code, and then bulk clearing, and then I ended up with the Master Practitioner Circle, which has been a total gift and a joy. I love what I do.
Wow. Rande, you have an amazing background. I didn't know that you worked in those facilities. So this is a good education for me as part of the Master Practitioner Circle. So we know now what attracted you to this type of work. And we know that you've got tremendous experience as counselors in 2 different areas. Well, one of the things that I wanted to ask you is what is your purpose and what is your desire and intention for your clients when you work with them, whether it's in the group or whether it's with individual clients or whether you partner? I know you and Rachel partner with other clients. So what's really your purpose and desire?
Well, in all of my work, I've learned that unless God is involved in a healing, it's not going to last. And so I've always had the spiritual connection. And I find that the harder I work on my own spiritual connection, the more I'm able to give. And it's not that I'm actually giving, I become a clearer channel so that the guides who are willing to do this work with anyone who asks for it, all we have to do is get on our knees and ask for help, and the guides come running. So that seems to be my specialty, to point out to all concerned that as long as we do the work 1 step towards the divine, and he'll come 100 steps towards you, he, she, they. And I work very hard on maintaining my clear channel to the divine so that my guidance comes from higher levels. Then they make the decision about who's able to heal and who's learned the lessons that deserve healing, if I can use that word, because we have to merit healing. We have to merit growth. It's not something that can be bought with money. It's not something that we can get with degrees. It's not something we can get with any amount of years or time. It's something that comes from reverence and being open and doing our own work and taking full responsibility for our past, our present, and our dreams and hopes for the future.
Wow, thanks, Randy. One of the things that for those in the I know that we're doing this video worldwide. So I know Randy uses God, but some of us might call it divine intelligence. We might call it a super conscious, whatever you believe in, and for Randy and her belief and her religion, it's God and myself too. But however, I always use divine intelligence or infinite source, because some people might think, oh my God, that's not what I'm connected with. Will this energy work? And it does. It's that divine universal intelligence. So just to be clear that we want to work with that. Now, I know you've got specific training in the body code and the emotion code, but what other, you've got your certificates and also skills as counselor, which has led you to this work. So what is your background with that, Randy?
Well, of course, I'm 72 years old. There's hardly anything you can do right or wrong that I haven't done. That doesn't mean I've done any of them very well, but I have a lot of experience, and what I feel like I'm being guided to do right now, strangely enough, is bulk clearing. It seems to me that there are many of you practitioners in the group who have a lot of finesse with individual counseling and the ability to, I think, explain to a person the chain of events that led to the blockages that created the patterns that may even have been inherited and gone back many lifetimes. And that's the ultimate goal, I think, is for an individual to understand what their purpose is on this planet. And it's almost always spiritual evolution, which leads to a clean body, a clean mind, a more effective path forward. But I'm fearless because I have nothing to lose. I'm not, dictated by the convention of energetic, and I'm no longer holding a license. No, nothing's current at this point in time. I'm living on my Social Security, and I don't live for money. So I'm willing to try what I feel clearly I'm being guided on the internal planes to learn, and that is bulk clearing to a group of people, because I believe the time has come for this particular nation, as well as Canada, as well as the Europeans I'm working with. I've worked with people in Sweden and Germany, et cetera, et cetera. But there's so many that can be touched, and God is outside of space and time. I'm so old I use the term God, but the creator, the creative source, the universal mind is beyond time and space. So there's no limit to the number of people that can be reached. And that's the beauty of the time we're in with the technology. It's no accident that all this science and spirituality are meeting, and together the human race is going to either make a quantum leap or destroy itself. There's no question in anybody's mind that we have to grow forward. And there's so many people to be reached. I think that's my job. Just, it seems to be the skill I've been given and the training I've been given. Ian, who you will meet, who's in our group, trained me in bulk clearing. And I really wasn't that interested, but it's what's coming through me. And I always do exactly what I'm told. And that's why I do so much meditation, is to make certain I know what I'm being told to do and do it.
So that's what really resonates with you, Randy, and thanks for explaining that. One of the things that, and so that you've given us the reasons why you love what you're doing, it's your purpose in life. Do you have any examples or testimonials of clients who you've worked with and how they have seen an improvement in their health or in their day-to-day activities?
Well, anybody that's watching this already knows that it's magical. It's miraculous. I've seen so many things that I could cry telling you about them, but It all depends on the work that the person is willing to do to receive the healing. For example, my sister has had curvature of the spine. She's 70 years old and is still practicing law and still an artist, an incredible artist, but has great pain and nearly died of an abscess in her neck because of the effects of this curvature of the spine. And I said, well, she's not much of a believer in higher powers. She's caught up in her intellect, and her intellect is magnificent. But I said, just let's try it. Would you let me do it with you? And at that particular time, I was being taught on the inner planes to basically do alignments of the entire spinal column from the bottom to the top. And sometimes they'd go back and forth and back and forth. And we did about, I don't know, 4 sessions. And then with this one magnificent session, she gained 1.5 inches in height.
Wow.
From straightening of her spine. And that's when I realized this is not just for mental health issues. This is not just about spiritual maintenance. This is not just about the mind. Her bones straightened up and she gained that much in height. So, everybody you talk to, I mean, we could talk forever and ever, and it'd sound like bragging. There are testimonials on my little Facebook page, and there are testimonials anywhere you look. Just read the book, read Emotion Code by Dr. Bradley Nelson, read The Body Code by Dr. Bradley Nelson. It's magical.
Yeah, and I think that specific testimonial of your sister, that's pretty amazing to have gain and did you say 1.5 inches in her spinal column? So that just in her height. Yes. So that shows that curvature of the spine was causing her severe pain and also affected her height. So with the technique that you've been using, it definitely works. And that's sometimes some people really want to hear. They want to hear, well, sometimes we hear it's called this woo-woo stuff, but we have some concrete examples of how the body code, the emotion code, the bulk clearing, and the type of work that you do with your guides and your energy source works really well. So Rande, tell us, what is the best way to contact you if someone is interested in doing a one-on-one, for example?
Sure. emotion.cocoding@gmail.com. And the reason I named my business that is because I call it co-coding, because to acknowledge the fact that the higher powers are actually doing the coding through me.
Fantastic. And do you have so do you want to just repeat that again, Rande? Would you like to just repeat your Gmail again?
Sure. Emotion.cocoding@gmail.com.
Awesome. And what are the, we've got the best ways to contact you, but do you have a tip or resource that you would like to share? I know you mentioned earlier about connecting to your divine infinite intelligence, but what is one other tip that you might want to give our audience today?
Well, of course, the divine operates all around us when we have eyes to see. And I think just cultivating your connection with God in any way that works for you, whether it's prayer, meditation, and being still so that God himself can speak to us. They call meditation listening. So I call what I do meditation. And not to say I'm good at stilling the mind. They say that's an impossible task. It's proven to be so for me. But nature, the breath, air, sun, all that we see around us, our relationships are part of God. If we're in alignment, those are in alignment.
Thank you very much, Rande. And we will look forward to seeing you every Tuesday. We have the MPCircle from 9 o'clock we meet, and then we do a healing session for the group of us, and we hope to see you there. Thank you very much.
Thank you.